5 o'clock. Thank you. Okay, it's exactly 5 o'clock. As you come in, remember to write your name and your party. That is how you will be recognized. Your name and the name of your party. Okay. Today's class will be on the topic, the psychology of politics, the myths, the psychology of politics, myths and realities. And this class will be anchored by Mr. Kunle Lawal, the Executive Director of the Electoral College. Please let's make welcome Mr. Kunle Lawal. ED, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. I don't know, for some reason I can't see my video, so I don't know whether I'm fully in picture or in frame or whatever. Good day, everyone. Welcome to class this week. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. Today's topic is, of course, the psychology of politics, myths and realities of politics in Nigeria. Now, I'm sure that everybody has their own personal view of what they deem politics is or whatever they think politics can be. But the truth is, most of the time, what confuses us is the fact that we already have a preconceived notion of what exactly politics is. Lisa, before I continue, Lisa, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Lisa, take the present attendance of the class now. Anybody that comes into the class after this has lost today's attendance. Please. Are you here?
All right.
Please close that door. Take the attendance for the class now. Anybody that comes in after this has lost today's attendance. Thank you very much. So, as I was saying clearly, we have a preconceived notion about politics. We also have a process which we think is what is paramount, or what we think is how would I put it, the norm. What we believe is the norm doesn't necessarily make it the norm, but we've created our own culture of politics, and that's how we view politics. Like, the average person will tell you, if you go into politics, there's a problem. If you participate in politics, you will get killed. If you participate in politics, you must be part of a cult. If you participate in politics, you must be ready to sell your soul to a shrine or a godfather. And participate. These things are not necessarily true. I'm not saying there are no spots of those things. There are, But if you put a ratio of about 100%, you'd find out that averagely you have less than 7% of those situations across the different points I've mentioned. So, Charlie, I could have the next slide. So this creates the culture which we've created, and I think politicians also help increase the situation because they think or they like to play around the fact that politics needs to get to the point it is supposed to be. So there's a psychology to politics, just not of course, that's the psychology of politics in Nigeria. There's a science to this conversation, and it's not the average way we think it is. I'll give you an example. So most of us think that when you go into politics, you must have money, or money is the complete factor with politics. I think if you go back into the 1993 elections with MK or Biola, it will show that money is not only everything. Money is not cannot achieve the kind of things that you think you would achieve. Power, military power, showed it was better than money. I think Abiola at the time of the richest Nigeria. There are many situations in which people with money, like let's come down to 2023 elections. Obi Kubana, his brother, lost against, a little guy that was running in office, and the incumbent senator, I remember, lost too. I think she lost too against someone who was probably not not even a close match fund wise. And these situations have always intrigued us. Um, let's extract it to politics, and I think the best way to put it is that let me define these things fairly so that we have a clear picture. People concentrate on power. Now, power is, of course, use, but power cannot be used without influence. What politicians strive for is influence, because with influence, you will get the byproduct, which is power. So you need to gather influence. I think this is what non-politicians don't really look at, and they don't really put into deep consideration. And they also do not necessarily project these things. And coming to think of it, okay, I don't want to give this example. I'm preempting. The slide will get there. But whatever you think of politics is based on what you have been taught while growing up, or preconceived notions. Most of the people that I'll give you an example, like it's common to say, women are not in politics because they hold meetings at 2 a.m. Okay. Let me open my political history a little bit. I was national publicist. I was director of strategy of a political party. That's a national position. I was national publicist secretary. I ran for Senate. I never held a 2 a.m. meeting. I remember the latest meeting we ever had was a conference call in 2019 when the elections were postponed at about 12 a.m. And none of us were awake. They postponed the elections. We're giving money to polling agents. We've mobilized everybody to, be ready for the elections and etc. And we're stuck with that situation. So there was conference calls going on between candidates and that kind of conversation. So whichever set of activists who have never been in a political party that told you this and sold you this notion, I'm sorry, but that's not the truth. So you have these kinds of situations, and you get to ask yourself the question, that do I think that way? Because hello, you hear me now? Hello? Can you
Yes,
hear
you
me now?
can.
Okay, sorry, a call came in and I'm using my phone's my mobile thing alone. So call came in and interrupted. Okay, so could I have next slide, please? So now we're going to look at what the circle of maybe going into an election is. So there are a few key things that are important to an election. And the first thing is strategy. And then after strategy, we have money. Then we have Charlie, I can barely, it's my side, but I can barely read it. We have strategy, we have money, we have influence, and we have communications. Thank you very much. So now, everybody, if I ask the class now, roughly, what do you think is most important between strategy, politics, strategy, money, influence, and communications? What do you think is most important? Just, you can answer in the chat box. Or Lisa, anybody can raise up their hands. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's all have a conversation about this. I want to open the class a bit. I think it would be interesting if we spoke about this a little bit. Anybody that wants to talk? Okay, so all are important. All are important, and you cannot separate any one of them. But there's some that are more important than others. I'll tell you about a situation in Oyo State, the election that brought in Shea Makinde. Now, I'll give an example with all this fact. I'll give an example with all these factors. So, the election that brought in Shea Makinde, preceding that, Shea Makinde, I think, had run twice for election, run twice. Close ranges 39%, 28, 39, 41% about of electoral value. This was his third time running. This was 2019. He needed to see things differently. He wanted to win. So he had a conversation with a few people. And so I'm giving you first-hand information. I had a conversation with a few people, and they took the ratio of, and this is where the numbers come in, strategy. Took ratio of the average Oyo voter. And they found out that Oyo accounted for about 26% non-indigenous votes. And these non-indigenous votes were usually non-aligned. They didn't even know who to vote. They probably voted wherever they felt. They just swayed anyway. They weren't actually toasted because most of the campaign posters were mostly in Yoruba or barely English sometimes, but mostly in Yoruba, and the conversations were always Yoruba oriented. So if you were to advise the then candidate, Shea Makinde, to make posters in Efik, in Hausa, in Tiv, in Igbo, and any language you could lay his hands on, and decided to meet with those communities. The result is history. Shea Makinde became governor of Oyo State. That is strategy. Let's look at money. In Cross River State, I think this first time after Imoke, I think this was 2015. And there were aspirants, multiple aspirants in the PDP. Geshon Bassi, one of the three godfathers of Cross River. So Cross River has three godfathers: Geshon Bassi, Senator Lyle Imoke, and Donald Duke. So it was clear and evident that the turn, because there were three friends. I don't want to take you to a backstory, which is older than this, but I think it will give you concept if I take you to a backstory. So the three friends were the ones that approached Obasanjo in 1999 that Nkechi Bassi's mother had a building and they wanted to give it to the PDP for a secretariat. And, Donald Duke spoke so well and they were busy talking about contracts that were coming later. Now, they wanted contracts. And then Donald Duke spoke so well and Abbas just said, why not running for governor? We don't have anybody there. Anyway, the rest is history. So they called him three godfathers across river. Now, fast forward 2015. Nkechi Bassi was seen as the most likely person. Now, Nkechi Bassi is considered a little, has money, but when they say, I don't know, popular conversation sounds like this. I remember, I don't know how this happened exactly, but the candidates were plenty. Nkechi Bassi was one of them. And Imoke said whoever could bring, I think, 2 or 3 billion. And I guess Bassi was like, you're crazy, I don't have that kind of money. And I did brought it, became the candidate, and became the governor. That is money. Now we're going to go to communication. In 2015 or 2014, let's be precise, during the campaigns, Goodluck Jonathan, Muhammadu Buhari, there were a lot of back and forth. We're told the economy was useless. We're told by the opposition that the president was always drunk. I'm sure a lot of people think that President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan drinks. He does, but very slightly, and he doesn't drink much. That I can give you on first-hand information. But what we were sold in 2015 was that he was a drunkard, that he was drunk so much in office, he didn't know what he was doing. That communication went so far that people believed it was true. He was perceived a drunkard. He was perceived quite a lot of things, and that's communication. This communication continued on how he was failing as a president, how the economy had totally crashed because of what he was doing, and how he was looting. Now, the state and funds of amounts they were calling that time, if they took those amounts out of the Nigerian economy, we wouldn't exist. Because I remember the Desiani scandal, we're talking $90 billion. $90 billion, Nigeria. That's our budget for like 10 years at the time. It was impossible. But you see, communication is key. They sold the narrative. And they sold the change agenda. The communication was great. Change. The only thing that we didn't know was whether the change was positive or negative. But they sold that conversation. Anyway, we're just trying to talk about conversation. About communication. The next now is influence. Now, influence, using, let me see. I'll tell you something. Let's come to the 2023 elections. His Excellency, Peter Obi, didn't have the kind of money. He has the money, but he doesn't have the kind of money to engage in a political campaign, especially with a new party. Well, not a new party, but you know what I mean. A party that doesn't have anybody that's elected, and someone that could, a party that can stand its own, had people in government that could push the narrative. His personal wealth could not handle a presidential campaign because it would mean the onus and everything would be on him. What worked? His idea. In fact, he was from Eastern Nigeria, chance of an Igbo president. His stand to go against the norm, and his rhetoric that we are all going to do it together. It created an influence which snowballed into one of the greatest movements. Well, I would also tell you how that influence rose and how it crashed and how it rose again. Well, great. Labour Party was organizing, 10,000 man march, and everyone was full. 20,000 man march, everyone was full. And then when other campaigns decided to start doing what you naturally call appointing presidential campaign committees, Labour Party followed. The moment they followed, they lost traction because they brought in a general that was part of NSAS, if I remember. And that seemed to blow the room. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can, Edie.
Okay, I just thought everything was static. So they tried to, so they followed and they brought up a guy with on NSAS, influenced it. They started trying to do what PDP and APC were doing when before they were taking the lead, influenced it. The influence came back again, somewhat towards the end of elections, but well, it was a good run. 6 million votes. Impressive. Got a governor out of it. Great. Got a few people in the state house of assembly. Got a few in national assembly. Great. That is influence. So now, after I've explained all this, I'm going to ask the class again. Which do you think is important? This time, I would like to hear you guys speak. I don't want to be the only one talking here. So what do you guys think, please? Hello, guys. This is a conversation. Hello. You're saying hi back to me. I want a conversation. Somebody should take up the class. There are no wrong answers. We're all learning. I'm learning. You're learning. Let's have a conversation. Okay. Since you guys I said I've explained the circle of elections, influence, communications, money, and strategy. And I said, what do you think now after I explained them? Which do you think is most important? Everybody is free. There is no wrong answer. I don't even have a correct answer. I just opened it up for you to see. So I would like to know what you guys think. And that's what I was asking the class. And everybody's, I don't know. I said I would like you to have a conversation, not in the chat box. I'd rather have a face conversation. I want the class to be interactive. You can't learn this part of politics without a conversation. It's not me talking alone. I'm not dictating. I'm trying to show you what it can be. Just raise your hands. When you raise your hand, you will be unmuted. You've been in this class a little bit now. Come on, guys. You know the way this works now. Come on.
Okay, I'm Jessica. I think I can see some hands up, so you just call them and ask them to unmute.
Okay. Ayilara Basit. You can unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, class. My name is Ayilara Basit. I'm from the APGA party. I haven't explained all this. I think, in my own perspective, I think everything still boils down to good strategy, because when you have a good strategy, it encompasses all: how you are going to do your finances, how you are going to communicate with people that have the influence. And I just see strategy as the main goal of having a good politics, a good life in politics. Let me put it that way, sha. So that's just my own view about it, about the Zaku rather.
Thank you very much. You're from Akwa Ibom, right?
No, I'm from Ogun State, Ijebode.
Oh, what did you say your name was again?
Ayilara Basit.
I heard Ayil Basi.
I know Ayilara
Okay.
is Ayilara.
Okay, Ogun State. That's the state
Yes.
of Dakwa Abiodun.
Akwa Abiodun, exactly, sir.
Yes, I know. I was in Abeokuta about 2 weeks back, or 2.5 weeks back. Yes, I think strategy will be key to you, and you've seen how it works. the last elections. It was very close. Dr. Abiodun was in a tight corner. I remember the call was
Yes,
very close, very,
with
very
Adebutu,
close.
with
Yes,
Adebutu, yes,
very
very,
close.
very close. Yes.
Adebutu was able to consolidate all other minority parties to drop some of their candidates and go behind him. That was strategy. And it was highly, highly, highly interesting to see. The race was highly interesting. I enjoyed the 2019 gubernatorial race in Ogun State. No, it was really interesting. Everybody was on the edge of their seat till the last count.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it was an interesting race. Yeah, it was an interesting race. Thank you very much, Aya.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'm not
Okay,
a sir. I've not been knighted.
Okay. We have a number of hands. Phil Idowu, you can unmute and ask your question. Phil Idowu, are you there?
Hello?
Phil, we can't hear you.
We can't hear Phil. Could we go speak to someone else?
Okay, we'll move on to Solomon Yunana. You can unmute and ask your question.
Jessica, if you call the Yoruba name now, I'd have said, have you zoned this question?
Hello. Good evening.
Good day.
Solomon.
Good day. How's everything?
Fine, sir.
Okay.
For me, I will go with communication. I'm from Plateau State. Based on the last election that happened in Plateau State between APC and PDP. You know, the state is somehow religious sensitive like that. So there was a propaganda going on. So both the party were using propaganda to tarnish the image of one party. And there was this high tension of one party or a candidate trying to sell a state to certain religion. So the people of Plateau State rose against that.
Wait.
Yes,
I don't get something here. What's the name again?
Solomon Yunana.
Solomon. What I don't get is that if I'm right, the both, I know, but I'm just trying to intrigue you a little bit. The both candidates in Plateau State were Christian, right?
Of course.
So what is the issue of religion again? And I know Plateau State, and I know the dichotomy or the issues in Plateau State. And you know, Plateau is always an argument between the Anglican, Cooking, and Catholic.
No, this time around is different. It's not about Anglican.
They were both. They were all in the same church, right? They're all from the same church.
Yes, they are all from Cooking Church.
But
the difference here is, you know, there is this belief in Plateau State that once an APC, if you are from APC, it is believed that you are a Muslim man. So PDP, it is believed that is a Christian party. So it is high in our state here. So now,
but Nentawe, even though Nentawe is a Christian, I believe he was a very intelligent candidate, very, very intelligent. I still tell him till today that his calamity was being in the APC. He's a very good candidate.
It's not about that.
It's about
what really crippled
Wait, Solomon.
Yes.
Let's go back. You said it's not about that. It's about what?
Yeah, like I said, it's about religion now. So I'm trying to link it with communication now.
Okay.
If you can understand me very well.
Let me follow and get where you're going.
Majority of the Muslims are supporting APC. And most of the Christians, not all, because some also are supporting APC, let's say 50-50. But there was this clergyman, a Muslim side, his name is Yahya Jingir. So he came out and made some statement. In fact, before his statement, the election was postponed. Had it been, it was not because of that postponement of the election, APC would have won. So when they postponed that election, they had an argument with him and the former governor, which is Jonah David Jam. So the Yaya Jingir now attack him using religion, whatever, something like that. So the Jonah David Jam now replied him that this is our state. That's a Christian state. He don't have the right to say so, and they will show him that in the election, this and that. So now, instead of Nentawe now to come out and communicate to the people or debunk that thing, that no, this is not what I'm for. I'm for all this and that, whatever. He kept quiet. And the other people from that party, now they use that to their own advantage, and in fact, they won many people's heart. So many people from APC now decided to move to PDP, believing that
Solomon, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Solomon, I'm going to ask you a question. How's the PDP government doing for you?
Now? How are they doing now? Yeah, we are just seeing almost the same thing, though.
Don't give me a 22% answer. Give me a direct answer. Are they better than what was there? Are they better?
Now, yeah, they are better. It's better.
How? How, please? Security?
No, not security. I think in terms of development. In terms of
development.
Yeah, development.
Development is not buying buses.
I know that, sir. I know that. But
for me,
one thing with what is going on now is this present governor is moving with, let's say, some people or past state elders, let's say, surrounded with the past leaders with him. But what the last governor did, I think he was like running the state on his own. So he was, I don't know how to put it, but yes.
The question that we are supposed to have in politics, and because you are in this class, the question you are supposed to originally have is, how has Plateau benefited from both ends? So I know we are discussing communication. It's not too early.
Of course. So
I agree with you. I agree with you that the communication in Plateau, especially against Nentawe, I believe Nentawe was a better candidate. I saw what he was putting out. He was a far better candidate. But Plateau paid the price because of, one, Nentawe's poor communication of his own excellence, and secondly, the religious narrative which Nentawe allowed to thrive because he didn't want to delve. I understand his political position of not wanting to delve and not going against his, if you already have somewhere as your stronghold, you will not want to upset them. So he was trying to win other people by not upsetting the other ones. And in the end, he lost the election. So communication is key. Yeah, communication is key. Thank you very much, Solomon. And I enjoyed having this conversation with you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Should we take more questions?
Let's take just one more. Is there a woman's hand up?
No, I've checked none.
And they want power. Later, it's men that have collected power from them. Continue. Let's have somebody else.
Okay, Philip, though, I hope your audio is better now. Please unmute and ask your question.
Philip Idowu has just left. You have to pick somebody else.
Okay, let's go with Abdul Kadir Fatima. Oh, is that a lady?
Jessica.
Fatima. Go ahead and ask your question. Fatima, you can unmute and ask your question. I only saw the Abdul Kadir. I didn't see the second name.
Wait, you can't unmute her.
I think she's
unmuted already.
Yes. But we can't hear you. Are you talking?
Since that's Fatima. Not going,
okay,
let's take
move
Martins.
on to
Martins Uja. Let's take Martins. I'd like to hear what Martins.
Okay. Martins Uja, please unmute and ask your question.
I've unmuted him already.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Martins, are you there?
Yes, good evening, ED. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Martins. How are you doing?
My phone, fine, sir. Yeah, it's been an enlightening class. My phone went off for a moment, so I didn't really know if we've traveled so far away from the point I wanted to
No, go ahead.
draw my.
Let's see whether I'll travel far away.
Okay, so I wanted to first of all rearrange the items, the elements in in an order of priority or importance according to how I would think that they rate or they are more important. So I would think that first of all, influence, then money, then influence, strategy, communication, and money. And I'm
So
drawing
wait. I mean,
it like
Martins,
that because
you are saying
I look
influence,
at,
strategy. No, I want to get you. Influence, strategy, communication, and money, right?
influence, strategy,
Beautiful.
money, and communication.
Okay.
Influence, strategy, money, communication. And that's not to say I'm really downplaying the place of communication, but in the context of the items in place, which are really, really important, I come to see the last election we had, for instance, where we had, I don't know if I'm allowed to call names practically, maybe we can be covered by class immunity. And so I wanted to draw from what happened around the communication from Tinubu, for instance, and how all of those things became memes and trends that were really negative. And we thought that based upon that, Labour Party or PDP was going to get ahead of them. But we saw that beyond that, Tinubu had you mentioned it in class that it usually takes over a decade in preparing for leadership ahead of time. And we felt that Tinubu had that, having prepared long ago for this presidency. And then he had built people upon which he had influence who he could leverage for getting into power. So he had influence intact. And then they have very, very fail-proof strategies in place. And then they had the money. So whether what they said was aligning with what you wanted to hear or not, they had their way around it. So that's
So Martins, just to feel what you're saying, Martins, I'm going to tell you that there's no bad publicity. Do you understand?
okay.
There's no bad publicity. No bad publicity. So in whatever we do, while we're busy making memes and doing things, while we're busy making memes and doing stuff, what is paramount for us to understand critically is that generally his name was getting more popular. It's Go ahead, Martins. You wanted to say something?
So I'm saying about when for him with the wrong narratives. So I'm thinking that maybe that really downplays the place of information. If your influence and strategy are intact, then whatever you say may not really.
Well, you've heard the phrase. You've heard the phrase. There's no bad publicity, right?
So I wanted you to just clarify that based on.
Martins, can you allow me to clarify it? If you are talking and you're not allowing me to finish, I cannot clarify it. But you've heard the phrase, there's no bad publicity, right?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the present governor of Kaduna State?
Yes.
Senator Obasanjo. How much do you know about him? Hello?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hello, how much do you know about him?
No, just what's available in the open media in public space. I've not really taken personal interest in him.
Okay. I'll tell you a little about him that you do not know. He had a sex scandal.
Yeah.
He had a video out. Dino Melaya also ran for Kogi State governor. Or somebody who was climbing tree not too long ago. And people thought he was a worthy candidate. There's no bad publicity, especially in politics.
So does that does that now allude to the fact that communication, whether positive, negative, is at the lower ebb compared to influence and strategy? In what I'm trying.
Depending on your strategy and how you use the publicity, it can head in the exact direction you want it to head. That's the way I see it, Martin. So let's go back to the class.
I will just be listening for
you can use it. Like I said, there's no wrong answer. We're all learning. So we opened it up, and if you notice, we're having a conversation. Do you understand? And I'm helping with what you're saying, and you are helping with what I'm saying. Do you understand? We're just opening the conversation. I'm broadening you guys' minds, and that's the point right now. Is that okay, Martin? Charlie, could I have the next slide, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Martin. So, of course, there are myths and realities of politics. So the first myth, which always is poor political literacy. The Electoral College assumes that approximately 82% of Nigerians are politically literate. When we put out these figures, we were attacked, seriously. But we're not attacked for the figures being high. We're attacked for the figures being too low. Poor political literacy has affected even within this class. We've had a situation during a quiz where a question was asked, and someone said public healthcare. And I remember I corrected the person invested in local governments, and I corrected the person and said, no, primary healthcare is invested in local government. And someone that didn't know zilch about anything. So I write in the chat box, invited the person to there, and I corrected the person. And for me, the person broke quiz protocol. And because the person broke quiz protocol, I deducted points from the person. And the person started writing in Yoruba on the group. Most Nigerians are educated, politically illiterate. I don't say this with happiness, but it's very true. And one of the deepest and hardest things to explain is the fact that because they think they know, it's why we are exactly where we are. The false assumption that they understand what it takes to be in office, or they can transcend the way politics is supposed to be navigated. I'll give you an example, and this even goes up to CSOs. So no offense, CSOs will tell you, no, I believe this is in the this is at the back. So CSOs will tell you this about political parties and co. Secondly, so we have a lot of issues with regards to political literacy. You have even the media calling in senators and House of Reps to discuss what they did with constituency projects, when these constituency projects are not even constitutional. So why are we allowing an illegality? And we're making an illegality new. I think I'm back now. I don't think you missed anything. So an illegality has become legal. And we keep doing these things back and forth. We have this kind of situations. I think when we even interact in our small spaces, what becomes quite an issue is basically the fact that, how would I put it? We should know better. Nigerians don't want to be part of political power. Let me ask a question. So we're probably minus admin, we're about 41 here. How many people are in the political party? Just rough question. How many people are in the political party or have been? Just write in chat box. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I'd like to see that. Guys? Yes, 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 yes. No. Now, the person that said no, Donnie. Lisa, can you help me unmute that person? We're testing for something. Help me unmute that person. Lisa or Charlie, are you there? Could you help me unmute Donnie that said no? Jessica, are you there?
I'm unmuted, Edie.
I'm saying unmute the Donnie that said no. The person that said no is not part of the political party.
I am unmuted. I'm the one speaking.
Oh, you're the one speaking. Oh, I
Yes.
thought Donnie was a guy. I'm very sorry about that.
No, it's
Okay,
Domi.
good day. How's everything? So, it's Donnie.
Domi, yes.
Okay. Domi. Okay, I
Yes.
read maybe because I'm reading it from Pakistan. Okay, Domi. Okay, you've not been part of the political party, right?
No, I've
I'm going to
not.
ask you I'm going to ask you a critical question. Do political parties in Nigeria have ideologies or not?
They do.
How why did you say they don't? The common conversation is they don't.
Pardon?
I said the common conversation is that they don't.
I think that every organization, irrespective of whether we agree or not, have their ideologies. I don't think that that is true. We might not agree on
That's
them,
it.
but it does not mean that they do not have them.
That I think this is the most brilliant answer I've heard from someone who's not part of the political party. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So most people assume political parties don't have ideology. A lot of people assume a lot of things based on their own political literacy. Now, if I ask everybody here, and I want this class to be interactive. What TV station do you get your news from? I'd love to see what you guys type. What TV station do you get your news from? NTA channels. That's all. NTA channels, TVC, AIT channels. Arise. Yeah, we got Domi. Arise. Beautiful. Al Jazeera, Sky, ITV. ITV. Oh, people. Okay. Arise, Martin. Arise. Arise, really rising up. Okay. Of the people that said arise, Jessica, you can see the people that said arise, right?
Yes.
Pick anyone randomly and unmute the person. Anyone randomly. Tell us who
Okay.
you unmuted.
Okay. Looking for Jeremiah.
Not Domi. Domi just spoke. So
Yeah, I'm looking for Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you can unmute.
Oh, you've unmuted him already. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Good day, Jeremiah. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Like I said, I'm not a sir. I've not been knighted by the King of England,
Oh,
so I'm not a sir. My name is Kunila. So first, you get your news from Arise. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you feel
Okay.
Arise helps you? Arise helps you make your choices or your informed opinions?
No, it doesn't. Why I said no is because I am a trained fact checker, so I don't just get
you
news
shouldn't
from
have been.
one.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't have been allowed to answer this question.
I don't just
Excuse
get
me.
my news from one source and take it as the truth. I have to confirm it from multiple other sources. And the fact that everybody is saying something does not mean it's true.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. You don't feel that within the Arise News channel, sometimes emotion is skewed into governance and politics, which allows for a skewed perspective to someone who's not politically literate.
Can you please rephrase the question?
Okay. Do you feel that on a particular, the early morning show on Arise, is it emotionally skewing people that are not politically literate?
It is. A lot of people, not everybody do, but
yes, not everybody, but quite a number.
Yes,
because of an emotional perspective. Thank you very much. That's what I wanted to bring out. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, and thank you also for your honesty. So the defects in the fourth estate, which allow the citizens remain highly politically literate. Most of the time, we have emotional perspectives based on the opinion of the presenter or the opinion of somebody. I don't want to call any names, and you find yourself in a situation where you've left what matters really, or we've left what is the bane or the bone of contention, and we've gone into something that totally isn't part of the game or totally isn't part of what should be in political conversations. Next one will be influential perspectives. Now, I can tell you, no names. I'm not saying these people do it. I don't say these people do it, but I'm trying to give an example. I have to use influential names. Now, if someone like Fela Durotoye says something, a lot of us will retweet and share and believe and argue about it. Whether we have found out it means something or not, or we've not found out it does. If someone like Aproko Doctor or Macaroni, or I'm not saying they share wrong things. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that influential people tend to dictate opinions of others without them even thinking or considering themselves. And that has been quite an issue within the Nigerian context of politics and etc. Then there's the fake assumption of knowledge. I don't think we need to flog that. We're always talking about the electoral college. Everybody always assumes they know, and they don't. Then the biggest problem, emotional responses to issues. So I'll go on about what happened in the college. So when we got to the group, and that girl that was writing in Yoruba, that whatever, Maureen tried to explain why they were penalized by the party or whatever. And her answer to Maureen's simple explanation was judge, jury, and executioner. That was an emotional response. Most of the time in Nigeria, we feel an emotional response is the answer to an action. We do not think, we do not go through things diligently. I'll give you an example. There was a lynching of military men in Barnet. I think they had an issue with a phone that was sold to them. And they went to report in Barnet. Whatever happened, the Barnet boys beat them up. And guess what? They locked Barnet down that Monday. Media houses in Nigeria were asking whether the Nigerian army had the right to lock Barnet down because they just beat two soldiers. I will tell you something. Nowhere in the world, the America you like using for example, beat two soldiers and see what's going to happen. I don't need to tell you what happens when you even try to bring your hand out of the pocket in front of a policeman, beat two soldiers and see what will happen. The disrespect. And I think this is the biggest problem. So I'll tell you guys this. I was with a new diplomat who had just come to the country. I've met quite a few people, in CSO space, a few activists, and then now I was meeting me. And she was like, Kune, you're different. You love this country. You've not said you want to see what's in America here. I said, America really doesn't have anything. I don't think you're too different from us democratically. And we had quite a long conversation. And I realized that because we Nigerians dislike maybe the president, dislike maybe the party in power, dislike maybe within our state, the person who wants to support them for governor didn't win, we're ready to burn the unity of this country down. That is probably the greatest mistake we could ever make. Demarket the country. We'll say anything we want to say about it. We have totally emotional responses to serious situations. You're always arguing something. This is that. When you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, why did you say the constitution is useless? And I'll tell you, I'm on a WhatsApp group, and we have quite some influential people on our WhatsApp group. These are people that have been ministers, people that are men of God at a very high level. Some people that have participated on very, very big parameters generally. And we're having a conversation. Everybody was talking, the president. I said, wait. A lot of you live in Ethiopia. The Ethiopia chairman is like a baby to you people. This is his budget. His budget is about 698 million per month. And then that's his FAC budget. And then his IGR is close to 1.8 billion per month, meaning he has about 2 point something billion per month. Why are you chasing Abuja? Why are you chasing Abuja? No, really, why really are you chasing Abuja? You should be chasing where you have an issue. We have quite a lot of emotional responses to things. We do not follow through what we're supposed to be doing generally as citizens. Then there's a poor understanding of, the system and its system. Now people will say, no. Tertiary Unilag is useless. It's the governor's problem. Hello. Tertiary institutions are under the jurisdiction of the federal, except it's a state university. Last one. Governor's jurisdiction is secondary school. Local government jurisdiction is primary school. Tertiary is left for the federal government. That's the way it works. That's the situation. We Nigerians do not even know where this one stops, where this one starts, and what the other one is doing. And we just end up arguing, demanding. So you go to a senator and you're asking for road. Come on. Any senator that is doing road is a thief now. Yeah, Colonel also said it. Gone. Because whether I like it or not, as long as constituency projects remain unconstitutional, it is an infringement on our constitution and it's robbery. So you can take it to the bank, Colonel said it. One of the biggest problems we've had in the democracy is our culture of slavery, which we've inherited from military rule and brought into a democracy. Now, that culture of slavery is what makes us blame the president for everything. We've forgotten that there's more to politics. There are more jurisdictions, there are more levels. Under a military rule, all is just president, Armed Forces Ruling Council. I don't know if all of you can remember, but Armed Forces Ruling Council. But the question I always ask people is, the military had an elected local government while they were functioning. And the local government outgunned them. They want to give police their first cars. There was water running out of taps. I used to travel a lot with my dad. I remember crisscrossing the 19 states before I was 11 with my dad. And there's nowhere we stopped and turned a pump in a tap that there wasn't water coming out. Now we're in a democracy. Do people still have taps? There are a few places, Ikeja, VI, Amak, Metama. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the people. How can a local government be more functional in a military regime than it is in democracy? But we don't want to have that conversation. The better conversation is Atiku, Peter Obi, and Tinubu. Well done, Nigerians. Let's see where that takes you. Charlie, next slide. So you have to enlarge this a little bit. Okay. So the myths that we regularly have are those about political parties. I'm sure preceding coming to the electoral college, a lot of people thought, if I ask them how many political parties are in Nigeria, they'll say 55, 94. I've been in a secondary school where, and this was early this year, I think about February, and we're having this conversation, and what was shocking was the civics teacher was arguing with me that there were 94 political parties. You have to Google it for the kids. And that's what he had been teaching the kids, 94 political parties in Nigeria. We also believe that political parties are mysterious. I don't think they are. You have to work yourself out. You know? I was part of a political party. I worked myself up, built about 6 or 7 state structures, became its national publicity secretary, space of 2.5 years. Now, this is not me bragging, it's me telling you it's possible. Political parties, you don't join a political party and because your name is a Tunde Headnut, you think you should go to the top. Sorry, no offense to Tunde Headnut, if you ever get scared. I just couldn't think of a name. I was trying to mix a name up and it was the name that came to my head. So we have the myths about political parties. They don't carry weight. They can't razzle up people. They can't do this. They can't do that. But coming from people that aren't in political parties, having an opinion about political parties, it's just like I think the best example is a mechanic who was in the labor ward with his wife during a cesarean operation, and when she was about to deliver the next baby and it was a cesarean operation seeming imminent, he said he could conduct the operation. That's how you sound when you're not in a political party and you discuss the ongoings in a political party. And most activists are guilty of this, especially your favy ones. You know, the ones with the vibes that you follow on Twitter that just run their mouths like typewriters without flaws. And it's become quite a problem. Now, when we developed this slide, the 2023 election had not yet happened. And this second point was PVC drive would not improve the outcome of elections. I remember I was called negative. I was called someone who doesn't love the country. I was called someone who's drunk in his political thoughts of what Nigeria should be and what it really is. But now, here's the shocking conversation. How has the PVC drive improved Nigeria in any way? Yeah, you had quite a bigger outcome. You had a poorer election. The outcome was far worse than it's ever been. So you ask yourself the real question. What was the essence of the PVC drive, apart from people having an identity card? The drive I would love to see is a political party drive, where every Nigerian is pushed into a political party, made to see that if you join a political party, you could become a delegate and you can then dictate what's actually going on. So the myth that the PVC drive was going to alter the election has been proved to be a very big myth. The next will be the president is everything. I think we've drummed on this in the electoral college. I don't think to mention it again. President is everything. Politics is money. I think I've spoken about that when I spoke about influence, money, communications. We've spoken about that extensively. Politics doesn't affect life. You know, a lot of people sit down and say, no, what am I doing? I work in Shell. Politics is not my business. I'm fine. You're not fine. You see that road you're going to pass with potholes, you're not fine. You see the fact that maybe everybody around you is starving and you're having to dole out money. They don't want to beg you for money, but it's a situation. Bad economy. First and foremost, I always say you can't engage something you don't understand. But there's this thing, and don't make a mistake with it. Whether you like it or not, politics is going to engage you, whether you like it or not. Choice is to engage it back or allow it do whatever you want it to do. So you can either be a muppet or you guys will drag in the wrestling. Choice is yours. Now, I think we can't overflog this point that the LG is powerless against the SG. We've spoken about local government extensively. We've had this conversation. So this point should not be anything. And then the constitution is useless. Now, I'll tell you something. Most of the time, whenever we're in conversations, you have this, Nigerian constitution is useless. And then, when you tell them, okay, you know what? Let's go toe to toe. Download the constitution, sir. Open where exactly the problem is. And everybody goes comatose. The constitution is useless. The narrative is by, for me, massively political illiterate people. Forget where you find yourself in life. Is the constitution a little backward? Yes, I agree. The basis of a democracy is legislative, and we've had a sleeping legislative for 20-something years. So, yeah, it's a little backward. But that it's useless or it's unfunctional, or we should revert to regional government. Revert to regional government, that's the biggest joke I've ever heard, because the basis of a parliamentary system is legislation. And we're already suffering from poor legislation. So I don't know how that is going to work. But anyway, everybody just wants to say something and feel important about it. Now, this topic is kind of delicate, and this is not me throwing shades to any CSOs and a few others. But a lot of work is being done in political literacy, and I must add that some work of some CSOs have been to undo the work others are doing. They don't do this intentionally, but they do this because they function at a particular level, which opinions and emotions matter more to them than actually getting the work done or actually changing a country. And it will be, unnecessary. It will be unfair to not say this, because it's all part of the reasons why a lot of people have to work 2 times harder, like the electoral college and a few others. We have to work a little bit harder because of misuse of the CSO. I don't think we need to flog a vote for a small party. It's a useless vote. I think we all know that. That is a thing put out by people in the more influential parties, because I don't think they are bigger. They're just more influential, and so that you vote for them. Charlie, I could have next slide, please. Thank you. So now the reality is, Charlie, you have to expand this. I really can't see it from where I am. Start with the first one. Just zone in on the first one. Now, first and foremost, no seat belongs to a political party. We need to get that into our... Yeah, so political parties are vehicle to the election, to the seat of government. So APC wins, Labour Party wins, APGA wins. When you enter, you're not sworn to the constitution of a political party, you're sworn to the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So there's no APC state or Labour Party state. We need to get this into our scores, because we use instruments of the state to perpetrate party action, which is wrong and to against the Electoral Act. You cannot perpetrate election fraud on election day, except there's a low voter turnout. If there's a high voter turnout, man, it's going to be very hard. Charlie, I need you to increase this third part, the middle part. I really can't see it. Charlie, I think you need to tilt it to your left. Thank you. Aspirants or elected officials don't understand jurisdictions of office. Now, this is very sad and true thing. It's something there are legislators that have never. When I say it, I'm putting it mildly. I can freely say that about 60% of the legislators in Nigeria have never opened the Constitution of Nigeria, and they want to amend the Constitution, and they say yeah and yes to what? I really don't get it. And then lies a very big problem. The executive also tends to work sometimes in some functionalities which aren't right. Now, strategy, we made clear earlier, does win elections. Change involves every Nigerian, not some of the Nigerians, not a particular few. Charlie, please stop moving it. I'll move it myself. Change involves all of us. I almost learned. Charlie, stop moving it, please. Thank you. The Constitution, I've always said this, like we have the holy books in our religion. The Constitution is our holy book as a citizen. Now, everybody's going to say this particular point is not going to be the way we see it. Now, protest in a democracy is a tool, but not a key for change. Because when you're protesting, you should know what you want to do, how you want to do it, and where you plan to take the protest to, while you are still negotiating their back channel. This is key. Nigerians love the protest. Hey! Okay, what do you really want? They can't put it in clear terms. And that has always been the problem. Nigeria also is a collective responsibility to everyone in the country. It is not the job for Lisa, for Kunle, for the Electoral College, for Jessica, for Ailara Basid, for Domi, or for Dr. Nwala Tobechukwu. It's a collective pursuit for all of us. Charlie, at the final slide, if I believe. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Now, democracy is not something that happens. It's not just something that happens, just at election time. And it's not something that happens just with one event. It's an ongoing building process, but it also ought to be part of our culture. Culture means, definition of culture is a way of life, a part of our lives. Jim Hightower. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Electoral College, for the opportunity for being able to deliver this topic. I hope everybody learned from it. We can move over to questions. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Edie. Your classes are always so insightful and interesting. Thank you very much. Time for questions. Questions, please, you can raise your hand and you will be given the opportunity to ask your question. Questions or comments, I believe. Please raise your hand so that you can ask your questions or make your comments. Okay, I see Martins Uja. Okay, Martins, you can unmute and ask your question or make your comments.
Okay, can I be?
Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, good evening.
Yeah, I can hear you, Martin.
Okay. So, thank. Question is,
Martin, you went up for a second. Hello, Martin.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you now.
Question is, the party to which I belong was chosen at the time I was joining. It was basically because my family or the people I respect the most. Growing up now, I've seen the need to move from the party because of narrative.
Martin, you are going on.
I would do differently. So my question is, what are the bases of consideration to belong to? How do I decide what party it in the dynamics of what's changing of help me decide in the future.
Okay, Martins, if I get what you're saying, because you're going off and on for me, if I get what you're saying, you are asking me for what parameters you would need in decisions to make a choice into a political party, right? To join in a political party. Jessica, am I right? Okay, you guys are
Yes.
Okay, so first and foremost, I think you first need to consider what you intend to be. Do you want to run for office? Do you want to participate within the party? Do you want to just be a member? Do you want to push? Those are the first things you need to consider. Now, when you consider that, the next thing is now your acceptability. How acceptable is, or how receptive is the party going to be to you being part of it in that particular state, especially when you're joining the party? Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're from another tribe or from another state and you're joining the party in another state. How acceptable will you, how receptive would they be to you joining the party in that particular place? That's key. Then third will be how you plan to, there are people that want to grow a party. There are people that want something already made. The choice actually is always ours on such matters. So I can't really say this, and what's necessary. But I think those three are the top three when it comes to making a decision. Thank you.
Okay. We have one question in the chat. It says, please, can you suggest ways to effectively understand the Constitution?
Read it.
Okay. Okay. Should I move on to the next person?
Yeah.
Okay. Oluwaseun, you can unmute and ask your question. Oluwaseun Egbayelo. Sorry.
Jessica, don't worry, I would have done worse. I'm happy you're the one making the mistake because they want to take the Kool-Aid from my name when I pronounce the name.
Thank you. Good evening.
Please, can you?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, EJ. Thank you for inviting us. This is my question. How can we solve the emotional attachment?
I can't hear you. You have to talk a little loud. You're talking very low. Are you using an earpiece? If you're using an earpiece, maybe disconnect it so that it will be clear. You're very low. I can't hear you clearly.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the insightful lecture. I want to ask the question about the emotional attachment policy, because I know everybody is using that in one way or the other. How can we recognize it, or how can we stop it?
So if I get you right, you're talking about emotional attachment in politics, right? Hello? Hello? Is he still there?
Yes. Oluwaseun, please write your question in the chat box. It seems your audio is not clear. Yes. There is a question there. Let me read the question in the chat box. It says, sir, you mentioned, you made a phrase, there is no bad publicity. Please, sir, what does it really mean? What does it really imply?
I believe that was said in English, right? There's no bad publicity means when whatever makes you popular, you can channel it to your strength if you're using the appropriate strategy. The president, they shake. This candidate, they shake. When you see him somewhere, it's lovable, enjoyable. It's human nature to even grow to like someone you've disliked. than for you to continue liking someone you like. The proximity to a candidate can make you start to dislike him because you start to see him more as human. But for someone you dislike, the proximity to him will start making you see the human side to his angle, to his proposition, that you start this guy
Okay.
I believe your gender a little better, especially when boys come to you before. So if you use it to your elections are a popularity contest. I believe it was Aristotle that said democracy will never produce a competent leader. It will only produce a populist one. And I
Yes.
believe I made a tweet sometime this week about it. And I said democracy walking on the runway of governance. They are just models. Easy to navigate that to create something, sensational if you have a media team that's working very well. So there's no bad publicity. You can check it. It's a branding yeah, adjusted to suit people.
Okay. Thank you. Another
Jessica, can you hear
question
me?
from the
I'm done.
Yes.
Is it that no one
Okay.
can hear me? Hello?
Another question. We can hear you. We can hear you, Eddie.
Hello?
Uh-oh.
Lisa and Charlie, please, where are you guys?
We are here, Edie. We can hear you.
I think he's
can hear
audible.
you clearly.
Okay. Another question from the chat.
You guys
Is
go
there a
quiet.
place...
I'll finish answering a question. You guys, my audio is what? I can hear you guys.
Okay. We can hear you. Edie, can you hear me? Hello?
Is it me or I can't? Lisa, please, in clear terms, whose audio is breaking? Mine.
Your audio is breaking, Edie.
Your audio is breaking, Edie.
Mine or Jessica's?
Okay.
I'll shut.
Yours,
Hello?
Edie, yours. Yeah, I think he's having a bit of network challenge. Just hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, Jessica.
Okay then. Thank you. Okay, while we are waiting for the ED, if you have any questions, you can make use of the chats. We'll read it from there. Or if you would like to ask directly, then you can raise your hand.
Hello, guys.
Okay, welcome back.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Okay. So should I go on with the questions?
Yes, go ahead with the questions. You can hear me clearly now, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
somebody said, is there a place for emotions in politics?
yes, there's a place for emotions in politics. I believe it occurs when you are in your house and you're talking with your wife or you're talking with your very close friend. Outside, there's no space for emotion. Politics has no space for emotion. If you're going to run for office, you must learn to control yourself at all times. If you're going to discuss the nation, most of the time when you give an emotional response, half the time you are not speaking to something that could help the country. You're speaking to your own ethnic bias, your political party bias, or something else. So emotional responses to governance, like there are people that believe that the APC government has not done anything good in the last 8 years. There are people that believe the PDP government has never done anything good in the last 20 years, in fact. There are people that believe that Rice TV is useless because of Buhari. There are people that believe TVC is just a mouthpiece of the APC. There are people that believe AIT is the mouthpiece of the PDP. There's an element of truth in all these things, but you must be able to quantify or deal with the matter politically or concerning governance, not from the perspective of they've always done it this way, but the perspective of exactly what that particular topic is and how you are treating that particular topic.
Okay. Another question from Ibrahim Jari. It says, under myths, LGA, local government is powerless and under the state government. Does it mean section 7, subsection 1 of the constitution is irrelevant?
I said people believe that local government is powerless and it's under the I don't understand the rationale for that question because I didn't state that.
Okay. Then next question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, though you're breaking a bit. Your audio is breaking a bit, but we can hear you. Can I go on?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Someone says, Oluwaseun, how can we stop emotional attachment in politics and recognize the reality? Because everyone is using it as tools, I guess.
Yeah, everybody uses it as tools to their advantage, so you can't stop it. But I believe that if you love Nigeria more than what you're dealing with, and I think we might be able to find, middle ground on people being more emotionally attached. For me, if you love your country, you'll be able to see through most of the situations. You can't stop people from being emotionally attached, but you can train them to see the bigger picture. I think that's what's key.
Okay. Thank you, Edie. Ambassador Godwin Kumai says political ideologies differ from personal ideologies in politics. Question: why do political actors walk outside political ideologies and still I'm still left without any mechanism to checkmate failed political manifestos of candidates?
I've answered this question in multiple classes. Okay. I've answered this question, Jessica, in multiple classes. And it's shocking that sometimes, I'm being made to repeat myself, but I'll repeat myself. You cannot expect a candidate who brings his money, pays up delegates, buys campaign form, uses the party, pays the party machinery to do his campaign, to enter after spending all the money himself, to enter and now practice what you want to preach. I've said this, that where that works is where the political party invests in a candidate and raises that candidate and puts that candidate in political office. Then you do the mandate of the political party. But till that happens, it cannot happen in Nigeria because I cannot spend my money, do everything. You try to rig me out in state primaries. You try to do this, try to do that. I use my money to do everything. Then I enter there, you now tell me that I'm of this party. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm not sure what I'm saying, but that's the truth.
Okay. I think another question by the same Ambassador Godwin: who is responsible of interpreting the Constitution to citizens?
Somebody in the Electoral College asked that question. Jessica.
Yes, I just read what was in the chat.
Who is the person?
Ambassador Godwin Kumai.
Oh, can you unmute the person?
Okay. Ambassador. Okay, I can't see. Okay. Ambassador, you can. Okay.
Good evening. Good evening, all. I'm with you.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Ambassador,
sir.
let me first ask you a question. Were you in the class of the judiciary? Yeah?
Yes, I was in the class, sir.
And you asked this question?
Yes, my question is deliberate, actually, towards a political scenario where we don't have any judiciary, particularly the vast majority of the populace are not aware of this constitution in a nutshell. And I just think I just wanted to clear a notion from my own perspective about those responsible to clear this issue in regards to the matter of constitution, interpreting the constitution to citizens and the grassroots. times without number, we have engaged a lot of our political actors in regards to engaging citizens to understand the constitution, and we seems not to get any answer. That's why I asked that question. Hello.
So, Ambassador,
Hello. Yes, sir.
I'm hearing you. I want to understand you. So, what are you trying to say directly now?
That those responsible for interpreting this constitution to citizens to have understanding are not really engaging the citizens to understand this constitution and act in line with the constitution. Only where there are issues.
Let me ask you a question. What state are you in right now?
Yes, sir. I'm from Kaduna State, sir.
I mean, what state are you in right now? Kaduna State.
Sorry, I didn't get that question, sir.
What state are you in? Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to understand your question, sir.
What state are you in?
I'm in Kaduna State, sir.
So
yes, sir.
the whole judiciary in Kaduna State,
yes,
they are not helping you understand the constitution.
Definitely, citizens at the grassroots, sir. For us that are participating and engaging, when you get back to the grassroots, it becomes a different scenario entirely.
What is the job of the judiciary again? Let's be clear on that first.
Yeah, their job is to help to interpret the constitution as well.
Yeah, but where did they say it was to you?
Sorry, I didn't get that question.
There is nowhere it's written that the interpretation of the constitution was to you. The interpretation is when the executive and the legislature have issues, or the citizens have issues with the interpretation, then you approach the court. It is your mandate as a citizen to go through the constitution. If you've not gone through it, then you have failed as a citizen of Nigeria. You do not deserve to hold its passport. That's the truth.
Okay.
It's not okay. That is the truth. So you cannot mortgage your own responsibilities as a citizen and then be trying to hold others accountable. You have left your own lacking. If to say you have read the constitution and you say, I have a problem with this, I'm suing Kaduna State government because I think this part of the constitution is not so, it is left to the court to help you interpret to understand. But you cannot not read the constitution and then be expecting a difference. You cannot not read the constitution and then be expecting a difference in what is going on. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't.
Okay, in the instance where citizens are aware that the Kaduna, like for Kaduna State that operates, it says it operates the local government autonomy, and then that's on the face of media, but on the other side, it's not really operating the local government autonomy. And citizens have done what should be done, and still
what have
there
you
is
done?
no.
Have you sued the local government chairman to court? He doesn't have immunity. Have you done that?
We've not done that, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry, you've not done anything, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Edie, there are no more questions in the chats, and there are no raised hands.
Okay. I think before Lisa speaks, I'd like to say something clear. Okay. Maureen, I hope you're on this class. I hope Charlie too is there. The attendance is abysmal. And I will be taking this matter up with party chairman. I would like to meet with party chairman, not this night, probably tomorrow night, after classes. This will not be tolerated. I also need to know people that don't participate in assignments. I want every party chairman, and this should be submitted to Lisa. Let the party chairman tell us who is participating in assignments or not. The electoral college will take the matter from there. We've been together for more than at least 4 weeks or 5 weeks. You should know the time of the class. You should know the time when the classes occur and when they finish. I'm totally disappointed in party chairpersons, and I'll be having a conversation with them. Lisa, if you have anything to say, I'm done. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Edie. All noted. Well done, Jessica.
Okay, thank you very much. Lisa?
Yeah?
Okay, I wanted to make a statement before you conclude the class. Just to the students, please, like he already pointed out, I wanted to say it, but I already said it. The attendance is quite poor. Some of you are just clocking in, should I say clocking in, just now, when the class is about to end. So please, if you are busy, set your alarms. Set your alarm to 4:55 so that you can just connect and continue doing what you're doing, whether you're on transit or whatever. Because sometimes before you know it, the time is already 5:30 or so, and you realize that you are late. So please let this attendance improve. Set your alarm so that you will not forget if you are busy. Thank you very much.
Lisa, I think we should do it this way. Lisa, there.
Okay.
Lisa, attendance will be taken exactly between 5 and 5:05. And then last attendance will be taken when the class is closing. If you do not meet those two attendance, it will mean you didn't attend the class. I think that will be better. Thank you very much. Lisa, I said any closing remarks you should make. You didn't say anything.
No, you have said it all, Edie. I think we can end the class. Thank you.
Okay, Jessica, over to you. Everybody have a lovely weekend.
Okay, thank you, Edie. Everyone, you can express your appreciation before we end the class. You can unmute and express your appreciation to the ED for today's class.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Evie.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.